Let us all remember that we are in the most holy presence of God.
Almighty God, our Father, we praise and thank you for this day. You have given us another opportunity to appreciate life and to fulfill our mission as your instruments of peace and progress. Please pardon us for our shortcomings. Help us to amend our impieties. We will learn to pattern our lives through your Son's example. Father, bless our endeavors, especially today's meeting. Guide us in our discussions. Enlighten our minds in every decision that we make. Give us your courage and grace that we may effectively do our part as public servants. Bless our plans, programs, and projects so that we may achieve our objectives for your greater glory. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Classroom rules. Always follow our rules. First, pay attention to the lesson videos and other learning materials. Then follow the teacher's instruction. Next, no chatting while classes are ongoing unless it's time for asking questions or clarifications. And of course, no to any kind of bullying. Respect your teacher, co-students, and others. For the last, don't hesitate to ask for help to your teacher and also to your classmates when you need it. Have the objectives. Differentiates linear inequalities in two variables from linear equations in two variables, and the other one is transform statements into linear inequality. Determine if the given ordered pair is a solution or not, and of course, illustrates and graphs linear inequalities in two variables. Okay class, so let's open the math book. Linear equality versus linear inequality. So in symbols used, in linear equality, we only use equal symbol. While in linear inequalities, we have 5 symbols. Those are less than, greater than, less than or equal, greater than or equal, and not equal. For sample expressions, in linear equality, we have x plus 2y is equal to 3, while in linear equalities, we have x plus 2 is less than 4y, and 2x plus y is not equal to 5. As you can see, sa linear equality, equal sign lamang ang ginagamit. So, yan po ang ating sample expression. While sa ating inequalities, meron pa dyan, pwede pa yung tatlo, maaaring greater than or equal, less than or equal, and the two of example, that is less than and not equal. Next, ano pa ba ang pinagkaiba ng dalawa? So in terms of geometric representations, in linear equality, there's what we call intersecting lines, coinciding or overlapping lines, and parallel lines, which is na-discuss ko naman ito noong first quarter. How about in linear inequality? We have plane or half plane. Kasi class, hindi ito katulad ng ating linear equality na merong mga lines, tapos may mga points na kung saan nag-intersect, yun na ang solusyon. Sa ating linear equality, meron tayong tinatawag na plane or half plane. Ibig sabihin, yung buong coordinate or yung buong Cartesian plane, maaaring nandoon lahat ang solution. At hindi lang siya basta pinaplat yung point na maglalagay tayo ng point. Dito sa ating linear inequality, mag-shade tayo kasi madami nga po siyang points. Okay? Maaari din namang half plane, kalahati ng Cartesian plane ang ating i-graph. How about graphical solutions to linear system? So in linear equation, there is a point, a set of points, or an empty set. While in linear inequality, there are a region of points or an empty set. Kasi sabi ko nga po sa inyo, sa linear equation kasi, mostly ay point lamang, a set of points, yung kapag coinciding lines, kasi madami dong points, kung saan dumaan ang line, yun yung mga points or solution. Sa atin namang linear inequality, region of points, ibig sabihin, madamihan, kaya nga po, sinishade natin. Ibig sabihin, madami siyang solution or madaming points ang inequalities. So, effect of multiplying or dividing the expression by a negative real number. In linear equation, the sense of equality is not changed. Ibig sabihin, yung symbol na equal sign would not be changed. Yun at yun pa din yun. Equal sign pa din. Versus sa ating linear inequality, the sense of inequality is changed. For example, we have inequality greater than. So, kung magdi-divide daw tayo ng negative real number, ang ating greater than magiging less than. Kasi yun po ang ka-opposite ni greater than, si less than. At syempre, kung given naman ay greater than or equal, ang ka-opposite po niya ay less than or equal. Okay? Again, kailan pong magpapalit or mapapalitan ng inequality kapag nag-multiply or nag-divide ng negative real number. So, magpe-present ako ng video presentation para mas malinaw sa inyo kung ano ba yung sinasabi kong not change ang sa linear equation, samantalang change naman ang sense of inequality kapag linear inequality. So we have the effect of multiplying or dividing negative signs into equation or inequality. So, sa ating linear equality, the sense of equality is not changed. While in linear inequality, the sense of inequality is changed. So, ibibigay ko sa inyo ang example kung bakit hindi nababago ang sa equality while si inequality ay nababago. Okay? So, we have the standard form at gawin natin siyang slope-intercept form. So, sa slope-intercept form, gagawin mong y is equal to mx plus b. So, that means si y ay nasa left, ang mx plus b ay nasa right. So, dito, si negative 2y ay nasa left na sadya. So, talagang ilalagay natin siya sa left. So, ikakopy lamang. Negative 2y is equal to ilipat si 4x, si positive 4x magiging negative 4x. And then, si 16 talagang nasa right side na. So, copy lang. Plus 16. Divide them by, ano ba yung katabi ni y? Kasi dapat y lang ang nandyan. So, i-divide natin both sides by negative 2, negative 2. Cancel si negative 2, we have y is equal to negative 4 divided by negative 2, the answer would be positive 2x. 16 divided by negative 2, the answer is negative 8. And that would be your final answer. So you can see, may nabago ba sa ating sign? Sense of inequality is not changed kasi equal sign pa din. Okay? Paano po kaya kapag linear inequality? So again, the same ng example, iba nga lang po ang ating sense of inequality, okay? So again, gagawing y is equal to mx plus b, which is what we call slope-intercept form. So negative 2y, copy lang ulit. Then, si 4x ililipat sa kabila, magiging negative 4x. So yung equal sign dito, syempre yung ating inequality greater than. And then, copy lang si positive 16. Divide both side by negative 2, negative 2. Cancel si negative 2, we have y. So class, ito ay greater than. Kapag po tayo ay nag-divide ng negative, ang greater than natin magiging yung opposite ni greater than, which is less than. Okay, so yun po ang effect ng sa ating sense of inequality and equality. Si greater than natin nung una magiging yung opposite niya, which is less than. Then negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2, then copy x. Positive 16 divided by negative 2, that would be negative 8. Okay? So nakikita na po ang pinagkaiba ng dalawa. Kung bakit ito ay the sense of equality is not change. Ito naman, the sense of inequality is change. So let's define linear inequalities in two variables. A linear inequalities in two variables can be written as ax plus by is less than to c, or ax plus by is greater than to c, where a, b, c are real numbers and a, b are not both 0. Kasi class, kapag both 0 na sila, so constant na lamang ang natira, hindi naman na siya matatawag na linear. The symbols less than or equal and greater than or equal may replace less than and greater than in the definition. So another, the solution set of linear inequalities in two variables is the set of all ordered pairs that satisfy the linear inequality. Kasi class nga, ang linear inequality, sabi ko sa inyo, madami siyang solution. That's why we called it solution set. And every ordered pairs na mag-satisfy sa linear inequality. Ibig sabihin, kapag nag-substitute tayo ng ordered pairs sa linear inequality, at siya ay nag-true, ibig sabihin, tama sa inequality, so that is a solution. Kahit pa yan ay 4 or 100, thousands, that would be a solution of the linear inequalities. Okay? Kaya hindi natin kailangan maglagay ng or mag-plot ng points na ibig sabihin siya ay solution. Ang ginagawa na lang natin pag linear inequalities, isi-shade natin siya. Kasi we have too much solution set. Now, how about translating the following statement into linear inequality? First, we have the value of 1 Philippine peso is less than the value of 1 US dollar. So, I'll be presenting a video presentation for you to see on how to translate this word or statements into mathematical equation. We have the first example, the value of 1 Philippine peso is less than the value of 1 US dollar. So first of all, ano ba yung dapat natin gawin to translate the words into mathematical equation? Ang una nyo hahanapin, ano ba yung dapat nating i-translate? Diba yung nandito nakalagay ay value of 1 Philippine peso. So that means we have 1 peso. And then, there is a word or phrases which is less than. That means we have less than. And then, the value of 1 US dollars. And ibig sabihin nun, we have the symbol for dollar. So that means The mathematical equation for this example is 1 peso is less than 1 US dollar. Next example. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, there are more female Filipinos represented by variable F than male Filipinos represented by variable M. The next example, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, there are more female Filipinos represented by the variable F than male Filipinos represented by variable M. So, translate ulit natin siya into mathematical equation. Ano ba yung nabanggit dito? So, we have female Filipinos. So, gamitin natin yung variable F. And then, ang sinabi dito ay, there are more. So, that means, mas madami daw si female Filipinos kesa kay male Filipinos. That means, ang gagamitin nating symbol of inequality is greater than. So, F is greater than to male Filipinos, which is represented by variable M. For the final answer, we have F is greater than M. Next example. The elevator in a school has a maximum capacity represented by variable C of 10 persons. So, we have the next example. The elevator in the school has a maximum capacity which is represented by a variable C of 10 persons. Okay, let's try to imagine that we have elevator in school, in our school. And it says that the elevator has a maximum capacity of 10 persons only. So, paano natin siya ita-translate sa mathematical equation? Okay? So, class, again, ang sabi, ang maximum capacity daw ng elevator sa ating school ay 10 lamang. Ano ba ibig sabihin kapag maximum? Ang ibig sabihin ng class, ang pinaka-limit na pwedeng sumakay sa ating elevator ay 10 lamang. So, kung siya ay magiging 11 persons, 12 persons, hindi na siya pwede. Kasi nga po, ang capacity lamang ng ating elevator ay 10 persons only. So, paano po natin siya i-convert into or i-translate into mathematical equation? Anong gagamitin natin kung maximum at ang limit lang niya ay 10? Ang pinaka-limit niya daw ay hanggang 10 lamang. Anong gagamitin natin? Na inequality. So, kung ang variable natin ginamit, we need to write the variable C. And then, ano yung gagamitin natin inequality na ipapalit natin kay maximum capacity? So, isulat muna natin si 10. Ano kaya ang ipapalit natin kay maximum capacity? Again, kapag maximum capacity, ibig sabihin pinaka-limit niya. So, we have numbers 1, 2, 10, ibig sabihin si 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Hanggang 10 lamang daw ang limit. So, ano kaya ang gagamitin nating inequality to translate this word problem into mathematical equation? Kung ang limit daw ay 10, so ibig sabihin, it composed of 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, hanggang 1. So, that means, ang gagamitin natin ay C is less than or equal to 10. Kasi pwede siyang mag-equal kay 10. At pwede naman na mas mababa pa kay 10. Kasi di ba ang C ang nagre-represent kung ilan ang bilang ng persons na kayang ipasok sa ating elevator or kayang i-ride on. Okay? So that means kapag maximum capacity, we have C is less than or equal to 10. So the final answer must be this. C is less than or equal to 10. And for the last, to get a developing passing mark in school, a student must have a grade represented by variable G of at least 75. Example, we have, to get a developing passing mark in school, a student must have a grade represented by variable g of at least 75. So ano ba yung ating given? So we have the given variable g for the grade. Sulat natin. And then the other is at least 75. So ano kaya ang nagiging inequality kung siya ay at least? And the other given is 75. So ano ang ating inequality? Ano ba pag sinabi nating at least? Ibig sabihin, ang pinakamababang marka na kailangan makuha ng bata sa school ay 75. So anong gagamitin po natin? Pinakamababa niya. So ibig sabihin, pwedeng higher kay 75 ang makuha ng bata. That means, ang ating inequality ilalagay dito ay greater than or equal. Because the grade is greater than or equal to 75. Pwede nga makuha ng bata ay 75 kasi sabi nga natin equal siya kay 75. Pwede rin naman 76, 78, 79 kasi sabi natin siya ay greater than. Para masabi, the student has a developing passing mark. Okay? So class, what if ang ating term is not at least? What if siya ay minimum? Minimum of 75. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Kapareho ng at least. Kapag at least at minimum, at least. So pareho lang sila na ang symbol ay greater than or equal. So what if siya ay maximum katulad ng ating example kanina and at most. So ang kanyang magiging symbol ay less than or equal. Okay? Laging tatandaan, itong dalawang lang to ang pagpipilian. Hindi po pwede yung ating greater than or yung less than. Kasi pwede nga po siya mag-equal sa mismong given. Okay? Now, how to determine if the points are solutions of the inequality? So the first example, we have 2x plus 3y is less than to 6. And then, the given points is 3 and 2, and the other is 0 and 0. So we need to determine if these given points would satisfy this inequality. Paano po ang gagawin? First of all, substitute po natin yung unang given, which is 3 and 2. Now class, si 3, siya ay x-coordinate. So that means itong ating x. While si 2, siya ang ating y-coordinate. That means siya ang ating y. Same with 0 and 0. So yung nauna ay x, pangalawa ay y. Pareho naman 0. And then, yung unang munang ating isolve. So substitute lang natin. 2 times, ano nga ulit yung x natin? Diba si 3? So isulat lang. Plus 3, ano nga ulit yung y? That is 2. Then, less than to 6. 2 times 3, ang sagot ay 6. 3 times 2, ang sagot ay 6 is less than to 6. Now, ipag-add natin, 6 plus 6, ang sagot ay 12 is less than to 6. Is this true? 12 is less than to 6. Ang 12 daw ay mas maliit kay 6. Is it true? Obviously, it's not true. So, ito ay false. At class, tandaan nyo, kapag nag-true, ibig sabihin, nag-satisfy siya sa ating given inequality. Since ito ay false, that means this is not a solution of this inequality. So again, isubstitute lang ulit natin sa ating given inequality. So 2 times what is the x, that is 0, plus 3 times the y is 0 then, is less than to 6. 2 times 0, the answer is 0, plus 3 times 0, the answer is 0. Is less than to 6? 0 plus 0 is 0, less than to 6. Is that correct? Ang 0 daw ay mas maliit kay 6. Is it true? Obviously, the answer is yes or true. So that means, nag-satisfy ang ating 0, 0, ang ating coordinate 0, 0 sa ating inequality. So that means the letter B, which is having the coordinate 0, 0, is the answer or the solution for this inequality. So we have another example, example number 2, which is 4x minus 3y is greater than or equal to 12. And again, we have 2 points or coordinates, which one of them would be satisfied for this inequality. So again, 2 would be the x coordinate, negative 3 would be the y coordinate, while in this point, 0 would be the x and another 0 would be the y. Okay, dun muna tayo sa example letter A, or yung point na coordinates 2 and negative 3. So, substitute natin, we have 4 times, the x would be the 2, minus 3 times, what is the y? That would be negative 3, greater than or equal to 12. Okay? And then 4 times 2, the answer must be 8. Negative 3 times negative 3, the answer would be positive 9. And greater than or equal to 12. Then, add 8 and 9, the answer must be 17 is greater than or equal to 12. Is it true na ang 17 daw ay mas mataas or equal kay 12? Is it true? Obviously, the answer is true. Kasi mas malaki naman po talaga ang 17 kaysa kay 12. So, that means 2 and negative 3 satisfies this inequality. So, how about letter B, which is 0 and 0? So, substitute lang natin si 0 and 0 kay x and y. So, we have 4 times 0 minus 3 times 0 is greater than or equal to 12. 4 times 0, the answer is 0. Minus 3 times 0 is 0. Greater than or equal to 12. 0 minus 0, automatic 0 din yan. Is greater than or equal to 12. Is it true na ang 0 daw ay mas malaki or equal kay 12? Obviously, the answer is false or not true. That means, ang 0 and 0 natin does not satisfy the inequality 4x minus 3y is greater than or equal to 12. So, ang solution lamang sa inequality na ito ay 2 and negative 3. Class, baka kayo ay nalilito sa term na solution kasi pag sinabi mo solution, di ba ito yung process? Solution din ang tawag natin. So, another definition for solution, which is ginagamit natin dito, pag sinabi mong solution, yun yung point na nag-true. Solution, yun yung point na nag-true, either kay linear equation, di ba may solution din tayong tinatawag. Kung saan nag-intersect ang ating lines, yun ang solution. Kung ano yung point na intersection ng lines, yun ang solution ng linear equation. The same ng ating linear inequality. Hindi nga lang intersecting lines kasi wala naman tayong intersecting lines sa inequality. Ang meron dito, kung saan nag-true or nag-satisfy yung point na yon, doon sa inequality, yun ang ating tinatawag na solution. Okay? So, there are times na hindi lang isang point ang solution ng inequality. It could be set of points. Okay? So, maaaring kung hindi man siya 0, 0, maaaring meron tayong 3 and 3 or the other. As long as siya ay mag-true sa ating or mag-satisfy sa ating inequality kapag nag-substitute na tayo. Now, let's proceed with graphing linear inequality into variables. First of all, kailangan yung malaman kung ano ba yung boundary line at yung type ng graph. So, sa boundary line natin, class, kasi sabi ko nga sa inyo, ang Cartesian plane natin madi-divide into 2 parts. At ang magdi-divide into 2 parts niyan ay tinatawag natin boundary line. So, kapag ang inequality mo, ang nakalagay ay greater than or equal, ang boundary line niya ay tinatawag nating dash line at ito po ang itsura, broken lines or dash line. Kapag naman ang inequality mo, ang given expression mo ay may less than or equal or greater than or equal, that is what we call solid line, which is ito nga po, isang linya lamang, solid. Okay? For the type of graph, may tinatawag tayong open half plane and closed half plane. Kasi class, kapag open half plane, siya ay dash line. Ibig sabihin, ang inequality mo ay less than or equal. At class, yung points po dito, pag dash line, ang ibig sabihin ng open half plane, yung points na madadaanan ng ating dash line, ay hindi po solution ng inequality. While kapag siya ay closed half plane, kung ano man ang daanan ni solid line, halimbawa nandito yung point, or dito lang, or doon, ibig sabihin po nun, ang lahat ng madaanan ng points ay solution ng inequality. Now, graph of an inequality, class, pakitandaan at pakisulat din sa inyong notebook. There's what we call form of the inequality, boundary line, and the shaded part. Now, class, sa inequality natin, madalas kasi, ang nakalagay sa books nyo and even sa aking example ay naka-standard form. So, ang gagawin po natin ay sa form na ito. Form of the inequality, which is slope-intercept form. Y is greater than mx plus b, y is less than mx plus b, and y is greater than or equal to mx plus b, or y is less than or equal to mx plus b. And ito po ang katapat ng boundary line. Kapag si y ay greater than mx plus b, di ba sabi ko nga kanina, pinakita ko naman yung sa boundary line, kapag greater than or equal, automatic ang boundary line na gagamitin nyo ay dash line. And kapag shaded part naman, kapag siya ay greater than, kasi nga, greater than, mas malaki, di ba? Above the dash line, ang shaded part. Kapag naman po, y is less than, so dash line nga po siya, at below the dash line, ang shaded part. So, yung ating greater than or equal, less than or equal, syempre, solid line. The same ang pag-shade natin. Ang pinagkaiba lang naman nila ay boundary line. Kasi pag greater than nga po ay above, kapag less than ay below. Okay? Pakitandaan, Here are the methods in graphing linear inequality. First, replace the inequality sign with equality sign. Then find for the slope and the y-intercept. Then graph. Next is choose testing points to check for the solution of inequality. And for the last, shade the region where the point belongs. Now let's have the example number 1. So we have 2x minus 4y is greater than to 16. So how to graph this inequality? First of all, ano ba yung mga methods na dapat nating sundin? Ang una, replace the inequality sign into equal sign. So we have 2x minus 4y is equal to 16. Then, find for the slope and y-intercept of this inequality. So, anong gagawin nating technique para mas madali ang pagkuha ng slope at y-intercept? So, di ba class, ito ay naka-standard form kasi naka-equal siya kay 16. So, ang gagawin natin siyang slope-intercept form. So, we have y is equal to mx plus b. Ang tawag dito, slope-intercept form. So, as you can see, ang left side ng equal sign ay y lamang. Samantala, ang right side ng equal sign ay mx plus b. So, hanapin natin si y sa inequality na ito. That means we have negative 4y equals mx, that means yung may variable x. Alin ba dito? Si 2x. Eh, nasa left side siya ng equal sign. Dapat daw ay nasa right side. So, ilipat natin si 2x sa kabilang side, magiging negative 2x. And then, yung b, yun yung constant, which is 16, at nasa right side na sadya. So, copy lang natin, positive 16. Next, di ba sabi nga natin, y lamang ang format ng slope-intercept form. That means, i-divide natin both side by negative 4. So, cancel na siya. Now, we have y is equal to negative 2 divided by negative 4. What is the answer? Kaya ba? Eh, mas malaki ang denominator kesa numerator. O mas malaki ang divisor kesa sa ating dividend. That means, i-reduce natin sila into lowest term. Paano mag-reduce ng lowest term? Mag-iisip ka ng GCF ng dalawa, and then i-divide mo yung GCF sa dalawa. Okay? So, ang GCF ni 2 at ni 4, obviously, ang sagot ay 2. So, 2 divided by 2, the answer is 1. So, we have negative, it's not negative because negative divided by negative is positive. So, we have 1 all over. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then, bring down the x. Positive divided by negative, the answer is negative. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So, we have this one, and then, balik ulit tayo sa ating equality. So, we have y greater than pa din ba? Di ba tayo ay nag-divide na negative? Ano yung tinuro ko kanina sa pinaka-introduction? Ang effect ng ating dividing negative numbers, the sense of inequality is change. So, that means yung opposite ni greater than is less than. So, y is less than 1/2 x minus 4. Okay? And then, the next step, find for the slope and the y-intercept. So, ang slope natin dito, di ba ang m ang ating slope, si b naman ang y-intercept. So, ang katapat ni m dito ay si 1/2. That means, m is equal to 1/2 or the slope. And then, for the y-intercept or the b, the answer is negative 4. Okay? Then, the next step, you need to graph using the slope and the y-intercept. In y-intercept, so, ang negative 4 natin magiging 0 and negative 4. Okay? So, yan ang ating starting point. 0 and negative 4. So, mag-graph tayo. We start with 0 and negative 4. So, nasan ba yung ating 0? Di ba ito yon? Tapos, nasan yung negative 4? Si negative 4, di ba ang 0 ay x? Si negative 4 ay y. Since siya ay negative, ibig sabihin, sa y-axis siya at nasa ilalim. Negative 4 dito, di ba we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and negative 4. That means we have 0, negative 4. Ito yung ipa-plot natin. Okay? And then, we have the slope 1/2. So that means, gagamit tayo ng rise over run. Okay? So from this point, 0, -4, magra-rise daw tayo ng isa, tapos, move tayo ng dalawa sa right. So, rise ng isa, move sa right ng dalawa. 1, 2. That means, nandito ang other point. Another one, taas ulit ng isa, move sa right ng dalawa. So, taas ng isa, move sa right ng dalawa. 1, 2. Okay? And then, plot natin. Oh, wait lang. Ang sa pagpa-plot natin, di ba nakita nyo, class, less than ang ating inequality. So, anong gagamitin natin? Is it dash line or solid line? Again, kapag dash line, siya ay greater than or less than. Kapag naman solid line, greater than or equal, or less than or equal. Since ito ay less than, so dash line ang gagamitin natin para i-connect ang points. Okay? Use the dash line. Ang dash line natin parang broken lines lang din yan. And then, next step. So class, ang ating next step kasi dyan ay choose a testing point. Ibig sabihin, pipili tayo sa region 1 and region 2. Kasi class, diba, itong ginawa nating dash line, yun yung naging boundary sa dalawa. Ibig sabihin, nagkaroon tayo na isang region, ito, binubuong ito, at ito yung boundary nila. And then the other region ay ito, nasa ilalim. Okay? Diba kitang-kita naman natin, ito yung above, ito yung below. So ano yung binigay kong technique sa inyo? Kapag siya ay greater than, ang kanyang pag-shade, ang isi-shade niyong part ay yung above. Okay? Since hindi naman to greater than at siya ay less than, ibig sabihin, below the boundary line ang inyong isi-shade na part, which is itong part na ito. Tama? Kasi below siya ng boundary line. Okay? Kung hindi naman siya maalala sa ganung part, ibig sabihin, mag-go through method number 3 kayo, ibig sabihin, pipili kayo ng testing point. Okay? So, dito sa unang region, pili tayo ng testing point. Okay, ang pinaka-safe na piliin natin testing point ay palaging the origin. Especially na ang region 1 ay merong point na 0, 0. Okay? And then, sa atin namang region 2, ang gagamitin natin ay positive 4 and negative 3. Okay? Yun ang piliin natin. So again, dito ang pipiliin nating testing point ay origin. At dito naman ay positive 4 and negative 3. Kasi class, kapag nag-plot kayo dito, makikita nyo, under na siya ng region 2. Okay, since tayo ay nakapili na ng testing point, isubstitute natin siya sa ating slope-intercept form na inequality. So, ang una nga po ay yung 0, 0. So, we need to determine if this point satisfy this inequality. Kasi pag nag-satisfy siya, ito ay solution. If not, it's not a solution. Okay? Substitute lang natin. So, si 0, x, another 0 is y. So, 0 less than 1/2 times 0 minus 4. So, we have 0 less than 0 minus 4. That would be 0 less than negative 4. Is 0 less than negative 4? Of course not. Kasi, ang 0 natin ay mas mataas pa rin kay negative. Okay? So, this is not a solution. Okay? Next, proceed tayo with 4 and negative 3. Again, isa-substitute ulit natin. That means, si 4 ang x, si negative 3 ang y. So, y natin ay negative 3 less than 1/2 times dx is 4 minus 4. So, negative 3 less than. So, paano po ang gagawin dito? Pwede nyo nang gawin ang cancellation method. So, makakancel siya. Divide by 2. O kaya ang gawin nyo, 1 times 4 is 4. Divided by 2 is 2. Or yung cancellation, kung mas gusto nyo yung cancellation, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay? And then we have 2 minus 4. So, negative 3 is less than 2 minus 4. Since magkaiba sila ng sign, automatic magsusubtract tayo. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. May negative kasi po, mas mataas si 4. Is negative 3 less than negative 2? Of course, kasi class, sa ating number line, kung alin yung sa ating number line, which is negative, kung alin yung malaki ang number, siya yung mababa ang value. Unlike sa positive, kung alin yung malaki ang value, siya yung, kung alin ang malaking number, siya yung malaki ang value. Kabaligtaran ng ating negative. So, this is a solution. That means it satisfies this inequality. Okay? Na-prove natin na 0.4 and negative 3 ang nag-satisfy sa inequality. That means doon tayo mag-shade kung nasaan si 4 and negative 3. Which is tama rin naman kanina. Di ba yung sabi ko nga sa inyo, kapag less than, kapag less than yan, ibig sabihin, below the boundary line. Which is tumugma din sa ating testing point. Okay ba? That means mag-graph na tayo. Kung maaari, gumawa kayo na box para alam nyo kung hanggang saan kayo mag-shade. Okay? Okay, we have the next example, which is y is less than or equal to 4. So, the first method is to replace the inequality sign into equality sign. That would be y is equal to 4. And then class, nag-divide ba tayo ng negative? Hindi po, di ba? So that means magre-remain tayo sa ating given na y is less than or equal to 4. Okay? Then for the next step, since wala naman tayong ginawa na kundi nagpalit lamang ng equal sign, wala tayong dinivide kasi wala naman pong coefficient si y, and naka-slope intercept form na din siya, so proceed tayo with step number 2, which is finding for the slope and the y-intercept. Okay? So class, paano po kapag ganito ang given? We have y is equal to 4. Ano po ang magiging slope? Di ba po tinuro ko na ito no previous nung ating first quarter? Kapag ang given ay ganito, si y-intercept is given na kagad, ano yung magiging slope? Okay, so ang slope natin ay m is equal to 0. And syempre, ang ating y-intercept is equal to positive 4, which the point would be 0 and positive 4. Okay? Then the next step would be the graphing. Okay, so hanapin natin kung nasaan ang 0. So again, this is the 0. And then, yung 4 natin, syempre yan yung, di ba 0 ay x and 4 is y. So nasa y-axis. Since siya ay positive, ibig sabihin nasa taas ang hanapin nating 4. Diba we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So nandito po yung lalagyan nating point. Kasi 0 and positive 4. Okay? The next step, the slope is 0. Paano mo siya i-graph? Kung ang slope daw ay 0, ibig sabihin, walang pagbabago sa movement. Hindi siya magra-rise, wala ring movement sa run. Walang rise over run. Ibig sabihin nun, pag tayo ay nag-graph, isang diretso lamang. Okay? So, anong gagawin po natin? Since ang ating inequality is less than or equal, is it dashed line or solid line? Okay, since siya ay less than or equal, ibig sabihin, ang gagamitin natin ay solid line. Then next, less than or equal. Pag less than or equal, paano po ang shaded part? Is it above the boundary line or below the boundary line? Since siya nga ay less than, ibig sabihin, below the boundary line. So, ito yung i-graph natin. Okay? Now, let's prove na talagang below the boundary line ng ating i-graph by choosing a testing point. So, dito po sa ating above, so maaaring ang ating maging testing point is C1 and C5 here. Okay? So, we have 1 and 5 as a testing point for this region. Okay, region 1. For region 2, ang gamitin natin ay the origin, which is 0 and 0. So, this would be the x and the y, x and dy. Okay? Then, let's substitute. We have y is less than or equal to 4. Ang uutahin natin ay yung 1 and 5. 1 and 5. So, x and y. So, since y lang naman ang mapapalitan, so si 5 lamang ang ilalagay mo. 5 is less than or equal to 4. Is that correct? Na ang 5 daw ay mas mababa or equal kay 4? No. So, that means it is not a solution. Okay? It doesn't satisfy this inequality. So, hindi siya solution. So, try naman natin yung origin. We have 0, 0. 0 and 0. So, x and y. So, we have 0 is less than or equal to 4. Is that correct? Na ang 0 daw ay mas mababa or equal to 4? Of course, siya ay mas mababa kay positive 4. That means this is a solution. And this satisfy this inequality. So, tama po tayo dahil ang 0, 0 ay under ng ating below the boundary line, which is tama yung ating kanina. Okay? So, i-graph po natin siya. So, again, sabi ko sa inyo, para pantay, it's up to you kung gusto nyo maglagay na box para alam nyo kung hanggang saan kayo maglalagay ng shaded part. Okay? Now, class, gusto ko lang itanong sa inyo, ano ba yung pinagkaiba ni dashed line at saka ni solid line? Ang dashed line po, class, yung katulad ng ating kaninang example, di ba yung may dashed line natin or broken lines? Ibig sabihin, class, yung dinaanan niyang point, kung halimbawa ito man yun, yung dashed line, nandito si certain point, yung dinaanan niyang point ni line na ito, hindi siya kasama sa solution. Okay? Kasi siya nga po ay broken line. Okay? So, yun po ang sa dashed line. Hindi kasama ang point na madadaanan ng ating dashed line. Kahit itong point na ito ay madaanan, hindi pa rin siya solution. Kahit yung nanditong point, hindi pa rin siya solution. Unlike ng ating solid line, kapag may certain point dito, example nga ay si 0, 4, ibig sabihin siya ay solution. And another point here, for example, we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 3, 4, negative 3, and 4. That means it is also a solution. Kung anumang madaanan ng boundary line na ito, ng solid line na ito, ibig sabihin siya ay solution. Solution na inequality y is less than or equal to 4. So, yun po ang pinagkaiba nilang dalawa. Okay, let's have the last example. We have x is less than or equal to negative 2. First of all, ang ating method ay replace the inequality sign into equality sign. So, we have x is equal to negative 2. Now class, may katabi bang coefficient si x? Wala po. So that means wala tayong i-divide both sides. And then, hindi rin tayo nag-divide ng negative. Although may negative itong right side, hindi naman po ito ang dinidivide natin. Kung ano lang po yung katabing coefficient ni x, doon tayo magkakaroon ng dividing negative. Since wala naman, so wala. Ibig sabihin, ang ating inequality ay the same. Less than or equal pa din. Okay? Then the next step is for finding for the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope must be, kung given na ang ating x-intercept, hindi y-intercept ha, x-intercept ang given. Kasi nga, x is equal to negative 2. So the m would be, kung kanina ang given ay y-intercept, the slope is 0. Ngayon naman, given si x-intercept, so the slope is undefined. Always remember for this. And then, wala tayong y-intercept. So, ibig sabihin, we have x-intercept, which is equal to negative 2. And then, the point would be negative 2 and 0. Kasi class, pag x-intercept, malamang given po ang x-coordinate, 0 ang y-coordinate. Kasi kanina, di ba nung previous natin, pag y-intercept, palaging nasa unahan ang 0 or the x-coordinate is 0, while the y-coordinate ay yung mismong number. So ngayon, pag x-intercept ang given, ang x-coordinate ay negative 2 or the given number, and the y-coordinate would be 0. Okay? The next step is to graph this. Okay, class? So sa negative 2, 0, ibig sabihin, sa x-axis tayo, magtitingin kung nasaan si negative 2. So, ito po yung x-axis, pa-horizontal. And then, nasan po si negative 2? Di ba pag negative, nasa left side? So, that means we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So, this one is the negative 2, 0. So, nasa mismo line ng x-axis. Doon kayo maglalagay ng point. Hindi po dito sa number na negative 2, hindi po under nito, or hindi above noon. Mismong line ng x-axis. Okay? And then after that, ano po ang ating magiging movement? May movement po ba tayo? Magra-rise ba tayo and run? Di ba hindi? Kasi nga po, ang slope natin ay undefined. Ibig sabihin, hindi po natin alam kung ano ang ating slope or movement. That means, maglalagay lamang tayo ng line na pa-vertical. And, ano ba yung magiging line natin? Is it dash line or solid line? Kasi ang atin pong given ay less than or equal. Ibig sabihin, we have solid line. So, solid line lang tayo. So, class, tandaan, kung gaano kahaba ang inyong y-axis, dapat gano'n din kahaba ang line ng inyong boundary line. Okay? Next step, ito po ay less than or equal. So, ano po ang gagawin natin? Kapag less than or equal, hindi na tayo ngayon above or below. Kasi wala namang above or below dito. Ibig sabihin lang nun, left and right. So, kapag left, ibig sabihin nun, katumbas ni left ay below. Kapag naman right, katumbas naman po niyan ay above. Okay? So, since tayo ay less than or equal, di ba kung siya sa above and below, dapat siya ay nasa below. That means, ang gagamitin natin ngayon ay yung left side. Di ba ang left side ng boundary line ay ito. So, ito po dapat ang ating isi-shade. Or the shaded part. Okay? Now, let's prove that by substituting a testing point. Now, let's choose a testing point. So, sa first region, so ito, ang piliin natin ay ito. Okay? So, we have negative 3 and 0. And for this region, syempre, ang gagamitin natin ay the origin, 0 and 0. So, this would be x and y, x and y. So, x is less than or equal to negative 2. Substitute natin. Siyempre, si x lang naman ang given. So, we have negative 3 less than or equal to negative 2. Is it true that negative 3 is less than or equal to negative 2? Mas mababa daw si negative 3 kay negative 2, which is true. So, this is a solution. How about yung isa? So, x is less than or equal to negative 2. And then we have the x coordinates 0. So, we have 0 less than or equal to negative 2. Is it true na ang 0 daw ay mas mababa kay negative 2? That's not true kasi mas mataas pa rin ang ating 0 kaysa kahit anong number na negative. So, this is not a solution. That means, class, itong 0, 0, yung part na ito ay hindi mo isi-shade. While yung part na negative 3, 0, yun ang ating isi-shade. Which is, nakuha rin natin kanina. Nasabi nga natin, left side ang isi-shade. So, tama din sa ating testing point. Now, class, baka magtanong kayo, paano nyo po nakukuha ang testing point? So, it's up to you, class, kung alin ang kukuha ninyong testing point. As long as siya ay makikita nyo sa region na ito. Okay? Malinaw ba? So, i-shade natin ang left side. So, ito na po ang ating shaded part. Now, I think you are now ready for classwork number 1. Please answer page 172, numbers 1 to 9, on your notebook or on your intermediate pad. Here are your to-dos for 1 week. So today, after watching the video, answer classwork number 1 with solution on notebook or paper. Tomorrow, download answer key with file name k_q2 lesson 1 _math8 _ in Quipper. So for those offline learners, maaaring hindi nyo i-download ito kung hindi naman po talaga kayo nakaka-access through online. So, pakihanap na lamang sa inyong flash drive ang answer key with this file name. Next day, for book activity, answer page 174 to 175 with solution numbers 1 to 10 on a graphing paper. Again, sa graphing paper po, magsasagot. Online and offline learners, sa graphing paper magsasagot. For online learners and will pass your output through online, please pass it on Google Classroom and please make a readable output. Kapag nag-scan using Adobe Scan or CamScanner, make sure na siya ay readable at naka-PDF hindi yung naka-link. And on Saturday, please answer your self-assessment week 1 on your Quipper. For the offline, meron po kayong makikita sa inyong flash drive. Kopyahin nyo na lamang or maaaring answer only lamang ang ilagay nyo. It's up to you. Pakilagyan po kung anong week siya, kung siya ay week 1, week 2, week 3.